Hello, Americans. This is the favorite alien and Bubba here on Wednesday, September 4th. It's about 5:45 p.m. here, and I wanted to do a special message to uh, Representative Gabbards and Miss Marianne Williamson over there. So here it goes on the law of consequences, and mitigation. So here we go. Dear Representative Gabbards and Miss Williamson, this is your favorite alien. Wanted to do a special video today on two things as you're running for president that you gotta realize you have the first most things to look at. Number one, the law of unintended consequences. And number two, mitigations. And those two will come in handy. I'll give you a few examples. Number one, the law of unintended consequences. Well, the problems that we have today go way back to 100 years ago at the Treaty of Versailles. Yes, remember the Treaty of Versailles? Cost World War II? Well, another of the unintended consequences of the treaty was the Israeli Arab conflicts, the Indian Pakistani conflicts, the conflicts that you have in your own party, Democrats with your so called socialism progressives who want to dominate the party, and the Republicans who have no backbone. Yeah. You've had no backbone for most of the 20th century, and definitely no backbone in the 21st. But the Democrats, hey, they're splitting up all over the place. I can just imagine their convention next year. It's going to be atrocious, huh? Not even a broker convention's going to come out of that one. Trust me, I know history. That's what I'm saying to Miss Williamson and Miss Gabbards. You got a chance to change history. Will you change us into a new timeline? Because the timeline that this is taking you from bad to worse. And give you a hint on the law of unintended consequences. The Versailles Treaty created the League of Nations, which subsequently gave a mandate to the regular, most of the European countries for colonialism. It gave the remnants, what remained of the Ottoman Empire, and split it up between the British and the French. The British got Palestine and Iraq. And then they split off, they had already split off Kuwait from Iraq. Remember, Kuwait is Iraq's 19th province. Saddam Hussein made a note of that. So that would come back to haunt you later on in the century. And as a consequence of doing the partition between France and Britain on the Palestine, where France got Syria and Lebanon, and the British got what today is Jordan and Israel. They used to call it Transjordan on there, and Iraq. Then the British decided, hey, we can allow some of the Jewish people to come back to their homeland. But they didn't understand it was occupied, so there it caused a problem. So after World War II, and the League of Nations, with all the mess that they have created, oh yeah, don't forget about the mess in the Balkans that they created Yugoslavia. Remember that? That came back to haunt you late in the 20th century, didn't it? Well, going back to World War II, At the end of World War II, well, everybody wanted their independence. Philippines from the Americans, 46 started it up. And then the British decided to have a interesting thing in 1947. Oh, we're going to get rid of India because it's costing us a lot of money to maintain it as a viceroy. So we're going to do a put all the Muslims on this partition India into two parts. Muslim. We'll take all the Muslims on the east side and put them where east side, and put them on the west side. We'll call it West Pakistan and East Pakistan. Well, no sooner had they done that in 48 that they created an animosity between Pakistan and India, culminating in 1971 with the Indian-Pakistani War. Now, the problem that the British didn't realize was, hey, you created a country with 1,000 miles of hostile territory between its borders. And East Pakistan had nothing to do with West Pakistan, so they became Bangladesh. That war was costly on all three sides, Bangladesh, the Indians, and the Pakistanis. Pakistani lost their territory, Bangladesh won something, and India, of course, was caught right in the middle. That was done in 47, and the war in 71. Well, next year in 48, they did the same thing with Israel. Oh, well, we promised the Israelis a homeland. Yeah, right. They didn't realize that that land was already occupied. They should have left well enough alone, but they didn't. So you had Israel and Jordan, with the subsequent little territories of the West Bank, which was under Jordanian control, East Jerusalem was under Jordanian control, and the Gaza Strip, which they gave to Egypt to control it. Can you imagine that? Why? Well, Israel had enough of that. There was a war in 56, and they invaded the Suez Canal. Remember that? Well, the Americans stepped in and said, no, no, no. Oh, you French Indians and you French and British and Israelis, out of here. And then again, a guy named Gamal Abdel Nasser had already taken over the Suez Canal, so the British lost big time. Way lost. The French lost big time. And the Israelis won. Then in 67, they decided to get their territory back, so they created the 67 war, and bingo, the rest is history. 73, Anwar Sadat decided, hey, we can do it the same way. It's a Yankee war, so let's get it back to them. But he forgot about one Colonel Sharon, and, well, you know the different story. So there we are. That's the law of unintended consequences. Mitigation, now you got mitigation. Because you got to mitigate all these problems. Along with your immigration. So you see, ladies, you got a big problem here. Mitigation now. Can you handle it? I don't think so. Democrats don't even know what that word is. Republicans, they still got to find their backbone. They don't know what it is. So this is your favorite alien saying, I'll offer my expertise on this if you want. But for now, this is the favorite alien in Bubba saying, good day.